No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No peace!
No justice.
Here. There you go.
Is he better than the last U.S. attorney? Yes.
Yes.
Good. Good. We have hope then. We have
Yeah, can you
hope.
flip this box
And
around?
Steve, we have to get Heinrich and you to an FBI guy told me to do that. You get what I'm saying? You have to. You have to. The FBI guy told me that's how they move. Steve?
Welcome and thank you for showing up today. My name is Adrienne Barboa. We're holding this press conference immediately after coming out of a meeting with the U.S. Attorney Representative for New Mexico, Damon Martinez. And we've presented these signatures to him that the families will talk more about. I can say that it was a disheartening experience to hear that our families cannot be given any kind of information, any kind of hope that they will see justice soon. So first I'd like to introduce Ken Ellis.
I've managed to keep my composure for 4.5 years over this, and I'm starting to lose it. This is ridiculous. We did a petition drive to have officers indicted. It's obvious that they're not going to indict an officer. They didn't indict the killer of Brown, the choker. So there's not going to be any indictments, and that's pretty much what we've heard. So as a minimum, I'd like to at least, for a minimum, have a preliminary hearing to see if there should be an indictment. For God's sake, these men are getting away with murder.
You're here.
Yeah.
We generated over 45,000 signatures in just a little over a month. This petition drive isn't very old. This country is, we're at a boiling point here. We're at a tipping point. We got a chance in history here to make history and set an example for the rest of the world that we can fix our problems. And if our servants, our elected officials, don't get this bull by the horn and get it corralled, there could be some collateral damage here. Obviously, communities all across this country are extremely upset with the impunity that our law enforcement officers are exercising their their duties. It's just I just feel like I'm a broken record. I'm kicking a dead horse here. I've been at this for nearly 5 years. January 13th will be the anniversary of my 5th year anniversary of my son's killing, and there has to be justice, and that's basically where we're at with that. Did Miss Kennedy make it? Shannon, can you please come and speak on behalf of the families in the community? I'm just too upset at this point.
Good afternoon, my name is Shannon Kennedy. I've had the honor of representing members of families who've lost their loved ones. Today, Kenneth Ellis delivered to the Department of Justice Criminal Division over 45,000 signatures calling for an indictment of any officer who should be indicted and held criminally responsible for the death of a member of the city of Albuquerque. For over 4 years, Mr. Ellis, with other families, has used everything in their power in the civil justice system to honor the memories of their loved ones. And today they're calling for the criminal justice system to step up, whether it be the offices of Carrie Brandenburg bringing a preliminary hearing to a judge and saying, is there objectively, as a matter of law, probable cause to indict an officer who's taken a life? Or whether it be the federal government, who, instead of this sham grand jury proceedings, elects to objectively weigh evidence in front of a judge who can find whether there's probable cause to indict an officer who, for example, on behalf of the family of James Matthew Boyd, they couldn't be here today, but they're here in spirit to honor the memory of James Matthew Boyd in hopes the loss of his life there's a legacy, that there is not another loss of such life. So it's with great gratitude that I am speaking on behalf of these families. We are so lucky in the city of Albuquerque. We have a consent decree here that, if upheld, will literally save lives. So hopefully we can turn this around and become a model throughout the country for a place where a police department goes from a national embarrassment to a national model. And without a criminal justice system in which no one is either above the law or below the law, we cannot do that. Thank you.
Well said, Candy. Thank you.
So I want to say that during this time, we collected the focus of this press conference is really about indictments, about families being able to see justice. We are excited that the city is taking steps to make reform for the future, but these families and their lives of their loved ones cannot be forgotten. We have to keep pressing. We were disappointed to leave that office to hear that we couldn't even hear if there would be a case drawn. But we're here to keep pressing forward. We want to hear from Stephen Torres.
Thank you, Adrienne. My son was shot and killed 3.5 years ago. For 3.5 years, we've been trying to get some answers as to when and if the officers who shot my son are ever going to face any criminal penalties for what they did. We proved our case in the civil case. In the civil case before Judge Bacon in district court, I think we proved our case. We proved that the officers who shot my son did so improperly and illegally. That by itself should be sufficient to try and get somebody on the criminal justice side to go forward with some indictments. But as of this point, it hasn't. We went to Mr. Martinez's office and we implored him because, quite frankly, he's our last hope. The district attorney's office has failed us. The attorney general's office has failed us. The U.S. Attorney's Office is the only place left that we can go to try and get some action on behalf of our families on the criminal side. Again, the civil side has been there effective for us, but the criminal side has let us down. And we hope that we can somehow prompt Mr. Martinez and his office and the Department of Justice to present some criminal prosecutions against the officers in the Boyd shooting, the Ellis shooting, the Gomez shooting, all of these shootings where these killings were found to be unjustified and illegal. We just hope that his office doesn't let us down. Thank you. Thank you for your support.
I'd like to say something, Mr. Torres, Mr. Ellis, and Mr. Gomez. I want to say and Mary, I didn't see you back there besides Steve. I want to say thank you very much for these individuals taking this forward, for all of the years that they've struggled. To Jewel Hall, who can't be here today, and I want to remember that these folks are so brave, but let's not forget the other 24 who were killed, who cannot be here because their families don't have the money for an attorney, or they don't qualify for assistance to get here, or they don't have child care, or they don't speak English. And these people, thank God, have had the courage to step up for all 27. And I don't want to just think we have 4. They have an army behind them. And the folks that can't be here will be coming soon.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, all of you.
I want to give time to, this is really about Attorney General Holder's legacy. If he takes action and files indictments, he could be remembered as the Attorney General who helped hold police to the same standard as everyone else in our community who commits murder. Right now we want to hear from Mike Gomez.
Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming. I was extremely disappointed here today, but it wasn't not expected. We're dealing with the federal government. They have their rules, and they don't say anything that can be used or held against them. Not even to help the hearts and the feelings of all the victims' families, they cannot say a word, and they will not say a word. So that's why us, the people, the public, we've got to say the word. We've got to spread the word. And this petition that we're referring to with the 45,000 signatures, it is still on change.org. So if anyone out there is listening, go to change.org, sign the petition, and no one's above the law. That's the name of the petition. And it calls for indictments. So we got to keep on speaking. We got to keep on showing that we want change. That no one can be held above the law. Not even an officer. They have to be held to the same standards as we do. So all I got to say is that the fight, the struggle will continue. We will not let this deter us. We will always keep going forward, no matter what, no matter how long it is, because it's not going to end. And Albuquerque is at the front of it. This petition was happening before Ferguson. This petition was going on before New York City. Albuquerque has been in the lead of this dismal situation, and we will keep on going because we have not had justice yet, and with justice there's no peace. Thank you.
No peace.
No justice!
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 No peace.
Indict killer cops!
Indict killer cops. 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 Indict killer cops.
Indict Gary
And everyone that helps them.
Indict Gary Blindenburg!
Thank you for showing today. Media, the families, and everyone who was spoke today will be available for interviews. Thank you.
Thank you.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!